with a good search program, I could probably find them in a few minutes, but I didn't really have access to anything like that. I probably thumb through the Shalah and maybe eventually find it, but I opened up the Imrei Noam today, not knowing that it was his Yartzeit, but by that point when I was learning, I already knew it was the Yartzeit, and I found the shtickle that really put into perspective exactly what I was thinking. It was defined the word that I think the Shalah says, and that I was trying to formulate. The Imrei Noam says on the pasuk of this week's Parashas Chukas. The pasuk says, where's the pasuk? Oh, just give me a second. Here. The pasuk says, they said a shira, Ali be'er anula, right? Be'er chafru asarim, right? Karua nediviam, right? Nediviam, this is Muchaikim Mishanoisam. So the pasuk parsha after the bear, this week's parsha has in it, for those of us that didn't get a chance to look at it, has in it Mei Meriva, by Shabbat Hitirak, the bear stopped giving water, continued giving water, and they said a shira about the be'er. So the pasuk says, Ali be'er enula, and the Messiah, there's one other place in the Torah and Tanakh where it says the word enu. And the pasuk in Tehillim, enu la Hashem b'soida. Okay, so enu is a lashon of tefillah, but it says lashon of enu la Hashem b'soida, the Indian of Haidah. So the Imrei Noam wants to be masbrazeh. He says that Chazal tell us, the pasuk tells us, right? The pasuk tells us in Yeshaya, "V'hayater yikra'u v'ani ene, oidhe medaber mani eshma." The pasuk says, "Before you call out to me, I answer you. Oidhe medaber, while they're speaking, ani eshma, I listen." So Dr. Imrei Noam seems to be a stira, right? It says, Terem Yikra Ani Ana, before you even start calling out to me, I listen. And then it says, Oidei Midabrim Vani Yeshma, while you're talking, right, that there is some sort of the tefillah, as the tefillah is being said, Hashem listens. So which one is it? Right? So he says there's two zachin. Right? Yikro is an Indian of tefillah bakosha. Right, the Indian of when you describe tefillah as being kairei el Hashem, that's calling out to Hashem, asking Hashem for something. That is standard tefillah, right? Standard tefillah is, what do you do, Yanko, when you daven? Ask Hashem for things, right? Yep. That's kriya. Oidei midam mani eshma. He says that's not standard tefillah of bakasha stracha. Midabrim is Pesukei de Zimra and shvach. When you're talking to HaKadosh Baruch Hu and just mishabech and thanking HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that is the Indian of Midabrim. So he says, the title of the pasuk is that Klal Yisrael, before we daven, we say Shemoneh Esrei. We prepare for our Shemoneh Esrei with a Pesukei de Zimra. Pesukei de Zimra has it a tremendous amount of shvach and praise and Haidot HaKadosh Baruch Hu is all wonderful. Like we sing songs to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and we feel a sense of tremendous closeness to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Pesukei de Zimra, before we start asking HaKadosh Baruch Hu for things. So he says, Oidei Midabrim, why are you saying Pesukei de Zimra? And he asked my answer already, and therefore, before you even start your Shemoneh Esrei, I've already answered you. Okay, so this is how he touches up the pasuk, and it gives us a tremendous blick into davening, right? We tend to run through Pesukei de Zimra. And really, we should cherish Pesukei de Zimra. Pesukei de Zimra is literally the connection to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, which gets our tefillos answered. Like the Imrei Noam tells us that Terem Yikro, if you say Pesukei de Zimra appropriately, then Ani and HaKadosh Baruch Hu answers. So he said, this is a nafkamina between Klal Yisrael and the Ummah Ha'olam. Right? The pasuk tells us that Goyim Kadav and HaKadosh Baruch Hu listens to Goyim's tefillah. He's not a pasuk in Divrei Yamim. We know that Shlomo Melech davened that the Goyim should be able able to come to the Beis Hamikdash and have the tefillos answered, right? The pasuk Vayomim. I have a feeling this is referencing by Shlomo when he built the Beis Hamikdash, paraphrasing what the Shlomo Melech said by when he built the Beis Hamikdash. I don't have the whole pasuk in front of me, but also this inyan that Nachum Goyim have an ability to daven be answered. He says the chiluk between Klal Yisrael and the Goy is the Goy has to daven and ask for things to be answered. Klal Yisrael is madrega of time Yikro Vani Ene, right? That us Klal Yisrael, we connect our Kadosh Baruch Hu by saying Pesukei de Zimra and Shvach and just connecting to Kadosh Baruch Hu, right? So this tefillah is what gets our tefillahs answered. And he says this type of answering rises above any kitchen. Because if you just go and ask for things, oh yes, well, let's see, do you deserve it? Should we give it to you? Right? Maybe yeah, maybe no. Masha ain't came with your tefillah answer without a bakash. Your tefillah just answer because you just push it. It's like the kid. We all have kids, Baruch Hashem, and we all kids are little siblings are. We've noticed how people when little kids want something from someone that's bigger than them, right? So Yankee, you'll appreciate this one day, Bez Hashem B'Karav. And when they want something from you, right? So they can ask you for it, they can beg you for it, they can wear you down and eventually be able to get it, or they can just act very bachain, right? And just express how much they love you and how happy they are around you. And all of a sudden, you just, oh, what can I get you? You're making me feel so good. Let me just give you whatever you want. What make you happy in return? So he said, this is the connection Klal Yisrael with the Kadosh Baruch Hu, the Pesukei de Zimra. It rises above any midas hadin, and there's no kitrig, there's no cheshbonus. So he says that's the pshat. He says that tefillah. He says azay. Tefillah is midas hadin, right? What is tefillah? Tefillah is avodah. Hashleisha dvarim ha'olam aymed shimon hatzadik kibel mehem, right? Shimon hatzadik mishak nasa gedolah, right? Who haya aimer al shleisha dvarim ha'olam aymed, right? So we spend as many times. And three, you should remember this. Why don't you leave your chin alone for a change. The Torah is Yaakov, the Midam Tzai. Avodah is Yitzchak, Midas Hadin. Midas Chasadim is Avram, right? So we know Avodah is Yitzchak is Din. So Zakta Imrei Noam, Tefillah is Avodah. Avodah is Midas Hadin. Midas Hadin has some sort of cheshbon to it. Avodah, when you misspell, so the tefillah works. But at the end of the day, it is working with some sort of midas hadin. Avodah is Yitzchak midas hadin. He says, however, the tefillah that we have of the Pesukei de Zimra, this is kula chesed kula rachman, and that's what he says. V'haya terem yikro v'ani enu. He says v'haya is Isis Yud Kei Vav Kei, right? V'haya, right? Not only is it Isis Yud Kei Vav Kei, right? It is a tier for which month? Of next month. No, I got it wrong. I made a mistake. It is Tishrei. It is Tishrei, I believe. Tammuz of Elias, Tishrei, I believe. Right? V'haya, which is Yaisis Yud Kei Vav Kei Tarab Yikro. There you have the chid of Kula Chesed. So he says, Azay, that okay, so maybe that's how we title the pasuk. And then, right, when you bechin of chesed is when you in kula chesed, when you're Isaac and Nishvach and Pesukei de Zimra, you get answered before you daven. Before you said Yishmein Esrei and this is a mile Yid has over a guy that a Yid connects to HaKadosh Baruch Hu with kula midas chesed. So he says, I say. So this is the pshat in the two psukim. Again, the pasuk says Ali be'er enula. He says there's a pasuk that says enula Hashem b'soida. So he said enula Hashem b'soida. This is calling out HaKadosh Baruch Hu. There's two ways to call out HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Enula Hashem b'soida, right? So it says Ali be'er enula, right? That we call out HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He answers us, right? So the pasuk says, what's best? What's different about us? So the pasuk in Yeshaya tells us, right? the pasuk Yeshaya tells us, the pasuk in Tehillim tells us, Enu Hashem b'Seidim, that a Yid's Ma'ila is truly being answered when he calls out HaKadosh Baruch Hu b'Seidim, with saying Shiris Yishbachos and his Pesukei the Zimra, and Memela, this is a Ma'ila Klal Yisrael has, that not only do we get answer from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, we get answers to HaKadosh Baruch Hu from an Indian of Seidim, which is something we spoke about a lot lately, right? The Indian of exercising the midah of Haidat HaKadosh Baruch Hu to get what we need from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Instead of asking for things, be thankful for what you have. Right? If you have gratitude to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, HaKadosh Baruch Hu connects to you and gives you what you need without any midas hadin. Okay, that's that is the Imrei Noam. So I was just it gave a little havan and something that I was thinking about. Right. So we said I say that in Chodesh Tammuz, the Tzir of Chodesh Tammuz is Kevav Keyud, right, which is backwards, right? When Shem Hashem is backwards, right? Yanka with me. When Shem Hashem is backwards, that's Midas Hadin. Okay, so how does it work, right? What do we do when we have this Midas Hadin, right? So it's interesting that the answer would be when you have Midas Hadin, right? We just have the answer, right? We have an ability of rising above Midas Hadin by connecting to HaKadosh Baruch Hu and Hashem b'Seidim, right? When you give shiras of Yishbach to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, when you daven your Pesukei the Zimra appropriately, this makes you rise above the Midas Hadin of Tefillah. Now, this in your Midas Hadin of Tefillah is something I saw in the Shalom. Right? We all know famous halacha, right? Famous halacha. When you finish Shemona Esrei, right? When you finish Shemona Esrei, you take 3 steps back and you bow. You bow. Which direction do you bow?
Left. Rebbe, you're beeping.
I just texted Sani knee.
Sonny's getting a question. First, you bow to the left.
First, you bow to the left. Why do you bow to the left first?
Sounds right.
Bow to the left first because we're facing Hashem, right? And Hashem's our left is His right. That's what's brought down halacha, right, Mayor? When you're facing someone, your left is His right. Midas HaChesed is the right, so our left is Yemin HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So we bow to Chesed first, right? So Pektas HaKasha, how does it work that Hashem's Midas HaChesed is on the right? Let's picture Hashem. How do you picture Hashem, Mayor? Yud Kei Vav Kei, right?
Right.
Shem Hashem, Yud Kei Vav Kei, right? You have Yud Kei Vav Kei in front of you, and when you bow to the left, where are you bowing? Towards which letter first?
The Hey.
So the Hey, that's not Chesed, that's Din. So what does it mean? Hashem's right, Midas HaChesed is to our left, which is His right. How does that work? Right? So with the Imrei Noam, I understand what the Shalosh says. Okay, and this is what the Shalosh says. I have to buy lotion inside, but this is where I recall it. And for a long time, it turned over to my head when I saw this. When I saw this, it obviously clicked. The Shalosh says Tefillah Midas Hadin. So like we just said from Imrei Noam, Tefillah is Avodah. Avodah is Yitzchak Midas Hadin. Midas Hadin, how does Yud Kei Vav Kei align itself with Midas Hadin? It's Chodesh Tammuz. Kei Vav Kei Yud. Right? When you bow to the left, what letter are you bowing towards? Yud, which is Chesed. Right? So in Tefillah, like they may know, the Tefillah is Avodah. Avodah is Midas Hadin. Right? And when we finish our Tefillah, we switched out to the Tefillah that it is in Midas Hadin. However, it's up to Shalah. Through our tefillah, when we're done our tefillah, we actually have the ability to flip it all around and get flipped around to be the HaChesed. And at that point, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, he says, Yud Kei Vav Kei is mislabish on us, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu's Yemin is our Yemin. Right? We make such a deep connection to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, right, that we become one Kaviyachol, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu Kilo is mislabish himself on us. And His Yemin becomes our Yemin, and we become consistent.
I'm working upstate. I'm sorry.
That's
Go
okay.
go get some food. We'll wait for you.
So
Sprinkles is there.
Yeah, don't worry.
You'll send me the recordings.
Sprinkles took your spot.
I'm always here.
I'm also always
Yeah,
almost here. It was supposed to be last night. I didn't cancel last night.
Right, it's my fault. I'm sorry. I was a little worn out. The time of my kamusani muddy. Anyway, so I think I was worn out. I was up all night Sunday night davening for someone.
What did I start the Gemara? You still doing?
We're just about finishing up. We're about to finish up a shtickle taicha that you can listen to this. It's gonna flip you upside down mit simcha. So that's chat the shalom. That tefillah is midas hadin, and midas hadin is taka cave of kavod, like we say. However, darchar tefillah with the Pesukei the zimishabah, we flip everything around. And taka becomes a midas hadin, and that's what we accomplished with our tefillah. So anyway, there should be an iris to us that we should. I think everyone in Klal Yisrael could probably use a little bit of a shipur, a bit of a improvement in the Pesukei the Zimra. Right? Instead of, normally, they say, I found I said a joke like this from, I think it's everyone's grandfather. It says in the Siddur by Baruch Shamar, Kan Sarach Lakum, right? So people think, when the Hebrews at Baruch Shamar, you're supposed to get out of bed, and make it to shul before the Shabbat. So no, you're supposed to get up half hour before davening. You actually get to shul 5 minutes before they start, and actually, be a little bit ahead of the game to be able to say all the words of Pesukei Zimra. And actually, once we see this, Pesukei Zimra is really where you want to be able to affect your tefillah from being somewhat connected to midas hadin to kula chesed. HaKadosh Baruch Hu should be shemeir all our tefillah. Bez Hashem.
Amen.
Amen. I'm